Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is your young lady, LAT, here on a midweek Wednesday, and I'm wanting to call in today Humility Wednesday. Defining humility through Webster: freedom from pride or arrogance, the quality or state of being humble. Synonyms is down-to-earthness, humbleness, lowliness, meekness, and modesty. Since it is defining the state of being humble, I am going to define humble: not proud or haughty, not arrogant or assertive, reflecting, expressing, or offered in a spirit of deference or submission. A ranking low in hierarchy or scale. To make someone humble in spirit or manner. And some synonyms for humble is going to be low life. It's going to be lowly, lower class, common. So these are just some information about humble, and we define humble because of state of being humble from humility. So I wanted to talk about humble and being, or the importance of humility on this Wednesday in the middle of the week, because I have noticed just from experience that we can easily get caught up in our day-to-day tasks, become very comfortable and confident, which is nothing wrong with that. But just make sure to always stay humble. There may be someone that wants to ask you a question about how to do something or your knowledge on something. And it is easy to actually get caught up, for real. And when I say caught up, I mean caught up into being overly confident and kind of cocky sometimes, or arrogant at some point in our lives, or in an area in our life, and even pride. So let me break it down. Pride doesn't always come off as a bad or negative thing, right? But human pride can come in many ways. If you are not open to certain changes or certain things that has to take place because you're so used to doing something a certain way, or because you've known something so long a certain way, and a part of you is very uncomfortable with the change, and you're like, no, this is my way, or my way is better, just because the fact that that's what you're used to, that's what your comfort zone is. That's, to me, is a sense of pride, right? And that's not being a person that's showing humility. That's not being humble. That's not being down to earthness and being low and open to change or that discomfort. That's really just taking the easy way out of saying, to keep me comfortable and forget everyone else, I'm just going to let it be my way or the highway. That's not right? So when I think on the word pride is, a lot of people think of it as a bad thing, negative. But if you think in terms like that it actually I would say some things about us just as a human being could naturally come off as a prideful thing without us easily defining it as pride. But that is something to also think about. So just make sure you keep in mind, the quality of humility, being humble, being able to let go of those prideful moments and prideful areas. And sometimes you got to take time to just self-reflect and figure out what area in your life are you actually prideful that you may not have been so aware, of some kind of area that you probably haven't really just paid attention to, that you may come off very prideful, or you're not being humble, you're not showing humility. I love to pray the prayer about, Lord, just with every walk in every area of my life, Lord, I want to make sure it honors you. And most of all, I want to make sure I stay humble. So please give me a spirit of humility, So that's just my intake and my opinion. And it was just something I wanted us to think about as we continue in life, is we can always get caught up in moments, whether it's so many different compliments people give you or anything. We could get so caught up sometimes, and we may not even notice, unintentionally and unaware of some of our actions, some of the way our words come off, that makes us seem prideful. So we always want to make sure we stay in the spirit and the mindset of humility. Being humble is so important. So I'm going to read a couple of quotes from awakenthegreatnesswithin.com. Okay. I found some quotes that I want to share. So let's move right into it. It's from Ephesians. Pride is about my glory. Humility is about God's glory. Always remember that. C.S. Lewis says humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. And I love that, because I've heard some pastors actually use that in some of their teachings and preachings. And I love that because it is so true. If you're always thinking of yourself and always thinking of, oh man, I'm so good at this, or, this and that, you may not even, like I say, some things we do unintentionally and being unaware. But when you become self-aware, you take moments to take those self-assessments, and you take time to to think about your, what you're doing, how you're doing things, self-reflect. How's the words coming out? What's your thought process? Are you always thinking of yourself? Think of yourself less. That's humility. Thinking of yourself less. I love that. Sir James Matthew Barrie says, life is a long lesson in humility. And that's so true. But we must always keep that in mind, though. Humility is so important. And that's a really big thing, is humility. I want to read one more. I'm trying to get to one. So let me read one more to you. Let's go with this one. John Ruskin. Okay, or Ruskin. It is, I believe, the first test of a truly great man is in his humility. Let me say that one more time. I believe the first test of a true great man is in his humility. Please, please remember that. You guys, take time to self-reflect, do self-assessments, be self-aware, and always remember humility is so important and it's so vital. And I know I said that a lot about a lot of things, but these things are necessary. This is like building character. This is the person that others are seeing and admiring, and you want them to admire someone that could be humble, humility, letting others go before you, not always trying to have that front seat, being able to be self-aware, reflect, and know that sometimes it's okay to be second. Be humble. Remember, humility is so vital and important, you guys. Be humble in every area. The higher you go, the more you have to remind yourself humility, being humble. So that's my word to encourage you guys today in a midweek Wednesday. I hope your week has been wonderful thus far, and I hope it continues to be just magnificent in every area. Continue to stay strong. Continue to be that example that people can admire, be inspired, and encouraged by. And always remember to smile and share that smile and encourage others to smile, because that smile, your smile, may be the only smile that someone sees that day. I love you guys as always. Thank you for your support. Thank you for taking time to hear me out and to be encouraged and to share with others. I really pray that this rest of the week and the rest of your day is magnificent, not just good, not just okay, but magnificent. So love, peace, joy, and happiness is spoken upon you on this day. You guys go, and as I love that my manager and other trainers in my life and mentors have said, go forth and do great things. You guys have it in you. I believe you. If no one else tell you, I believe in you, and I know that there is something more in store for you. This is your young lady, LAT, here on a Humility Wednesday, encouraging you to stay humble. It is LJ signing out.